everyone, this is Amy over at Pretty Presets, and I am going to make a short video here to show you how you can clone things in Lightroom, whether they be big or small. Now this took me a while to actually learn. I've used Lightroom since I started my business about 5 years ago, and I always used it to do the smaller things. So for example, like if I wanted something like this up here taken out, that wouldn't be a problem. Now if I wanted this over here taken out, forget it. I would just move it into Photoshop and take care of it over there. But what I have found is that I can actually do that in Lightroom, and I have finally figured out how to do it. So I'm hoping that while doing this video and while you're watching it, that you will learn and understand that you can do the same thing too. And it's really, once you actually understand how cloning works in Lightroom, then you'll see that it's really not that hard. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I've already gone up here to tools and I clicked on spot removal. So we're gonna keep that there. And so over here, you can see that we've got our clone set. We've got our feather and our opacity set to 100, and the size, you can either use your slider here for the size, or you can use your little scroll thingy on your mouse. That's what I always use. So I'm gonna make it kind of big, because what we're gonna do, and again, this just goes with the learning curve. For a long time, I thought that when you were cloning something with this, because it's round, I thought that you could only go boop, like you would just click right there on that spot and that was all that you could do. But it turns out that it's not. What you can do is, and this right here is such a perfect example, because you've got something that is large and something that's straight. So what we're going to do is I am going to start up here at the top, and I am going to left click on my mouse. So I'm going to left click, and you can see it's not doing anything right now, but I'm left clicking, and then I'm going to drag it all the way down to the end of that dumpster. So I'm going to go all the way down like that and let go, and you're going to see, oh wait, it's got part of her arm there. We don't want that. So we're gonna come over here. See where right here it made the same exact shape right here, because Lightroom is trying to find something that is closest to right here that it can clone. And what I have finally realized and learned is that you can now come over here to this, left click, and you now have control of where it's going to go. So if we want to put her head right there, we can. If you want to move things around, you just move it to wherever you find is going to look best for the photo. So since we've got a little bit of that grape leaves up there, we're going to move this right about like that. I want to see if we come over a little bit, what happens. I'm going to push our luck here and see how far we can get. That's actually pretty good. I'm going to come up a little bit though, and I'm going to, actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to reset it, and I'll tell you why. Because when I made my initial one, you can, like this part right here of the dumpster, it didn't get caught in that clone. So what I was noticing when I was moving it over here and trying to place it is there was this whole extra strap over here that I was going to have to use. Hold on while I take a drink. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to actually make my circle just a little bit bigger. That way this is included and I don't have to do any extra work. And I'm all in favor of that. So again, we're going to left click, and we're just gonna drag it down. See how now it's picked up that extra part there, so that we won't have to worry as much about that. See, now it took her body in. And the reason why, remember, is because even though this is what we want to get rid of, this part here on that dumpster, it's seeing that the part next to it is most like this part. So it's thinking, well, that's going to be what we want to have right here. It, like, you know, Lightroom isn't going to understand that we had a blue dumpster here and we do not want to replace it with part of the person. So we're going to put our little mouse here, left click over here, because that's where I actually want to replace it from. So we're going to kind of, I'm going to move it even more over here and see what happens over in this area. And you can do that, just stay clicking on it and give yourself some wiggle room. So you can see at the top there how it is coming together so that it combines with the leaves are combined up there, and that's what we want. I'm going to say leave it right there like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little scroll thingy on my mouse. I'm sure it's not really called a scroll thingy, but that's what I call it. So now we're going to go down here and we are going to do the same thing over here. And we want to actually move this, because see how it's on her arm right there? We want to move that just a little bit. And right up there so it covers that blue. Good. Okay, now we're going to come over here and we're going to move that, get that green. Let's see, and we don't want it to look exactly like that. We're going to maybe bring it down just a little bit. And now we've got this little section over here to deal with. So we're going to just go like that. I'm going to see if I don't really like that. So let's undo update spot removal. We're going to undo that one. I'm going to one more step back. There we go. Okay, let's see. Let's go down a bit. Again, we do not want part of our sweater in it. So we'll come from, see how I'm lining up the two lines right there? Part of me wants to touch my screen and show you, but then I realized that wouldn't do any good. So, okay, we got that. Now what we have to do is this spot right here. My son's laughing at me. So we're gonna come right here. We're gonna do the same thing. Again with her dress. Move this over. I actually don't want to get part of that in there, but we want to make sure that the coloring adds in. Let's see. Okay, I think that looks good. So now I'm going to close that. And what I always like to do when I've just done a clone, in fact, actually, you know what, this up here, I am going to go ahead and get rid of that, because now with everything looking really nice, I think I kind of like all the green that's going across here, and she looks so pretty. So let's put our cursor down and go whoosh. No, we do not want her head from this. We're going to come over here. Make sure we get it all. Good. Okay, now we're going to close it out. And we're going to get our brush open and we're going to choose smooth skin. We're actually not smoothing any skin on her. I like to do this when I've just been using the brushes and kind of like smooth out the area that I was just working in. I always feel like this just kind of like blends it together. And I don't know. That's just what I do. So blend it in right there. And there's one little spot that I'm looking at, and I'm not sure if it's part of the dumpster that was there or not. So what we're going to do is we're going to let me see, where was our that spot right there. We're actually going to move that down, and I'm going to change the opacity on it. You'll notice if you change the opacity, it changes how much comes through. So I'm going to look at it like that now. And I am happy with it. So that is all. This is what the picture looked like originally before I had edited it or done anything to it. And then this is what it looks like after I applied the preset. I believe I did a quick clean and contrast for this. It was a nice evenly lit picture to begin with, and so I really didn't have to do much with it. So I did that, and then we took out this dumpster, and then we took out this right here. So I hope that gives you some insight and some help to see how easy it actually can be to clone things, and to just know that you actually do have a lot more control than what you thought when you are cloning in Lightroom. So again, I hope you've learned something, and thanks for watching.